So good morning, everyone, or good evening, or whatever time it happens to be for you, and also for those of you listening down the track from the archive. So you're in for a treat this morning. My name is Sharon Whiteman. I partner with Diana Hunter, who's our guest speaker this morning, and Gary Knapp, who most of you just seen go off camera. We've been doing this for a long time, and we love our Manatech community. We love the connection and the community and the collaboration that we have via this Zoom medium that we have in a new modern way. And today our topic is conversation practice. So, as we get partnered with Manatech and most people, some people are passionate right away. Some people, it grows on them as they see results or as they start to realize that this is the answer for them, whether it's for finding a mission and purpose in their life or whether it's for, improving the finances or stabilizing the finances in their household. And many people are disadvantaged by their career, aren't they? And they just don't feel aligned with the missions and values of where they're working, and they're looking for something else. And boy, do we have a solution for that. So my colleague and good friend Diana Hunter, she's an executive director with Manatech. And after experiencing outstanding health benefits from the Manatech products herself, Diana became interested in a business that could add so much value to people's lives. She has a broad background in business administration and complementary health. And after moving to rural or regional Queensland, seeking a better lifestyle, she soon realized she couldn't rely on the local economy for her income. She also wanted to apply her talents and energy into something of her own that would deliver real benefits to people. A Manatech business became the obvious solution, offering lifestyle, independence, income, and a vehicle for contribution. She has a spectacular coaching skill, and when it comes to conversation practice, she's absolutely amazing. So this call is exactly what you're looking for if you want to be the best communicator. We're never ending learners, we are. So Diana, thank you so much. I know this isn't your comfort zone to be on the front line here, but you're really good at it, and you need to know that. So thanks for putting your hand up.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you for inviting me. And welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to be here and sharing, what I know, what my experience is in conversation over the last 15 to and so I've called this Conversation 101 because I wanted to pass on in this presentation some of the skills that I use on a regular basis. I'm not going to be covering everything, obviously, but some of the things that I've learned over the years that I use daily. So I'll just get the next slide, figure out how that works. There we go. So the other thing I wanted to say is that I still get tongue-tied. Sometimes I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to manage this conversation? Can anyone ever relate to that? I'm sure you can. And really improving our conversation skill, it's simply practice. Either practicing out in real time, talking to people, or practicing with our business partner or in our team environment. Because that's what builds our skills and confidence. It's about getting a whole bunch of phrases and conversation that we've practiced on that we can draw on when we're out, talking with people. And in addition to the practice, it's important to approach our business as a business professional. And all business professionals do some form of study or some form of education. And both Sharon and I have studied with some of the masters in MLM. And these are some of the MLM masters I've studied with over the years in regard to conversation skill. You may have heard of some of them. There's Kim Claver, Hilton Johnson, Blair Singer, Big Al Schreiter, and more recently, Eric Worre, which if you've been around for the last couple of years, you would have heard of Eric Worre. He's very active online now. And Big Al Schreiter, he is one of the, the long-term masters in the network marketing industry. And he would say, it's good to be passionate and share passionately about what you have to offer. But what you really need is those skills. So the mastery of those skills is in the practice. And that's what we're about today, isn't it? So these are the areas that I'm hoping to cover. I'm not sure if I'm being too ambitious here. There's a lot there. to cover on the presentation this morning. Number one, get good at telling your story. Avoid using MLM jargon. Building your listening skills rather than your speaking skills, your listening skills, and learning to ask questions. Learn how to handle objections. If you're going to start talking to people, you're going to meet objections, aren't you? I'm sure you already have. And how to use buffers. That may not be a familiar term. I'll explain that. And permission to ease your way into conversation, ease your way into asking people questions. So the first cab off the rank is get good at telling your story, both your wellness story and your business story, your results with taking the Manatech technologies and your experience or your vision with being involved in the business, in our lifestyle opportunity. And one of the masters that I studied with here was Kim Claver. You can see her web link there, Kim Claver Academy. And she wrote a book many years ago called The Truth. It's in a cartoon format, and really it's about telling the truth about marketing and sales in the network industry and conversation in the network marketing industry. So I'd recommend having a look out for that. But her counsel is to keep your story simple and brief. And the point is that you've heard this before, facts tell, but stories sell. People are interested in, what's happened for you. What is your authentic story? Not something you're not telling from that, core authentic experience. And to keep it simple and brief. So today I wanted to focus on the 1 minute story, because if you develop, a succinct personal story that you can tell over 1 minute, you can always make that shorter according to the situation, the conversation situation that you're in. But if you've got the language over a minute, then you've got that to draw on out in the field. One of the things that she recommends is to avoid using what I've called here fantastic language. Words like awesome, amazing, fantastic, incredible. As soon as people hear those kind of words, in the back of their mind, they're starting to doubt, could this be true? Could what you be saying be actually accurate? So rather than that, to use everyday relatable terms. Include emotion and facts in the story, but make it relatable to the person that you're speaking with. So here's, you may have come across a range of formulas through your team trainings, but here's a formula that I learned from her. Number one, to express the problem. What was your previous health situation, how it impacted your life, or your previous financial position, and what situation that had you in. Then you build a bridge. Let people know how you were introduced, because if you tell people how you were introduced to the products or the business, it can make it more relatable that it might be the person next door that tells them how they have an opportunity to heal their life, whether it be the products or the business. It might not be their doctor, or it might not be, someone that they in their mind would think would have something of value to offer them. So let them know how you heard about the business or the products. And particularly with your wellness story, you might want to say how long it was before you experienced results, and be real. Not everyone gets results in a day or a week with our products, do they? We often say it takes 3 months for people to feel confident that the products have made a difference. And that was certainly true for me. And then what was the result that you experienced since taking these products? Or what is your experience in the business or your vision business-wise? So I'm happy to share my 1 minute stories just to give you an idea. In fact, Sharon did quite well at sharing my business story there in the introduction. But then I'd like, if you would, someone to put up their hand, and we can hone and work on your business or your wellness story. So think about if you want to put your hand up for that. It's completely non-confrontational. We're really workshopping how to improve your business or your product story. And you can put your hand up in the chat box there as we go along. But, oops, getting the driver, the wheel right here. So I'll just share briefly my wellness story, my 1 minute or approximately 1 minute wellness story. So I'd had a very long-term health challenge, and it had completely compromised my health. My digestion was unbalanced, my immune system was struggling, my mood was really low, and I was chronically fatigued. And as a result of that, I was unable to work. I was only able to work part-time, and that had seriously affected my finances. I tried many products and many natural strategies over the years, but nothing had worked for me, and I sort of given up. And a good friend of mine had heard about these products at a dinner party, and she suggested I have a look at them. And of course I did, and I could see they were something different, decided to give them a try. Well, after 3 months, I had signs of my health returning. My digestion improved. I felt a bit stronger, and my mood started to lift. And over about an 18-month period, I made a full recovery. I went back to full-time work. I started an exercise program, and I was able to enjoy life again. So that's my story. Would you know of anyone who would like to improve their health? So it's good to add a question at the end that relates to your story, which my story is a health recovery. And it's not such a direct question. It's a general question. Would you know of anyone? It might be them, but it makes them think broader than themselves.
We're talking about you in the comments, Dana.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't have time to talk and read. So
I can share my story.
My view.
We don't have people jumping in here yet. So my story is that, I was in a situation where my health had deteriorated, and it was kind of a fatiguing like illness. And I couldn't work at all. I was on a sickness pension, and, I was formerly a critical care specialist nurse, and Western medicine was only offering me antidepressants, and I knew in my heart of hearts that that wasn't the answer. And I actually was out of ideas. I didn't have the skills or the knowledge to do anything else. And I was at this dinner party with some good friends, and these women were here from America, and they're saying, you've got to try these products, when they heard my story. And I was beyond skeptical. I was completely closed. I'd probably, energetically, I was backed into the corner and go, this is weird. If this is so amazing, why haven't I heard about this? So, but interestingly, what they said to me, this friend, Carrie in Georgia, they said, listen, I've got some information. If it doesn't make sense to you, then there's no harm done. And luckily at that time for me, I knew that if I refused to review the information, I was being pretty closed-minded, and I had higher expectations of myself. And I can still remember listening to a cassette tape in my car and thinking, why was I skeptical about this? It was common sense to me that our food had gone downhill in value. It was common sense to me that that's the foundation of our health. And if we don't add to our modern day diet, then even if this, I knew that even if this wasn't the whole solution to my health, I knew it had to be part of it. And so I gave it a go. And, it took, because I'd had a long-standing illness over a number of decades on looking back, it took me time. But within 3 months, people around me could see improvements. And in 4 to 6 months, I could feel it was 2 steps forward and 1 step back, because my body did some cleansing work. But within 18 months, I'd fully recovered, and I was just so grateful. So, I know that you're talking to me about something with your situation. If you knew there was no pressure, I can give you something just to listen to like I did. Would that be okay?
That's excellent. Me. Thank you, Sharon. Guess who introduced me to the products?
It's that dinner party, that famous dinner.
Okay, so while I'm going to share my 1 minute business story, who would like, just put your hand up in the chat box if you'd like to workshop. It can be your wellness or your business story. So I'm not going to ask you to share it straight up. We're going to talk it through and build the story for you. So, who on this call has had a result with a product?
Here we've got one taker. Here we go.
Okay, good. So I will my business story, and we'll look out for who's put their hand up. It's an opportunity on the ground for you. So, look, I'd had a long-term health challenge and over many years, and it completely brought my life unstuck. I was introduced to these products by a good friend of mine, and they turned my health around. So I became an advocate. And as it so happened, I just moved to regional Queensland. That was a lifestyle choice for me, but it became obvious because lifestyle that I really wanted. And at the same time, I'd secured a part-time job, put my heart and soul into that business, and then they pulled the rug on my job about 6 months in. So that was a defining moment for me. I was decided I was no longer going to put my heart and soul into someone else's business. I'm going to put that into me and my own future. So not only does this business take care of my health, it gives me a platform to have the lifestyle that I desire, and also to build and establish income security for me and my future. And at the same time, on a daily basis, I'm helping people either with their health or their finances, and that's important to me. So would you happen to know anyone who is looking for, a career that's more fulfilling for them, or improvement in their lifestyle, or wanting to generate extra income? Yeah.
So we've got Gail and I think Na Kim. I'm not sure. I'll unmute Na Kim, and you might have to correct me on how the correct way to say your name. You can come on camera if you like, but you don't have to. You're unmuted. Can you speak so we see if we can hear you?
Who have we got, Sharon?
Na Kim.
Na Kim, just say hello. See if we've got you on microphone. Looking for a piece of paper.
Ah, perfect.
Hello, Na Kim. Thank you for putting your brave boots on.
Yes.
So, Na Kim, how long have you, did you want to work on your business or your product story?
Both of them.
Okay, I may not have time to do both. What would you prefer to focus on today?
The business.
The business? Okay. So how were you introduced to Manatech?
I told my story about my health. I think my health is similar to your health. And after I took this product, my health again back. I can say 100%. Yes.
But your health has returned 100%?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you were experiencing prior to the product?
I had chronic fatigue syndrome.
Okay, so you're chronically fatigued?
Yeah.
How long was that for?
For many years.
And how did that affect your life?
I always very tired.
Yeah.
I stay all the time. Couldn't do
You
it.
what, sorry?
I stay in bed all the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And what did that mean? What did that mean? Like, how did that compromise your life?
I just have a rest all the time.
So you weren't able to, what weren't you able to do as a result of that?
Yeah, I always stay.
Did that affect your family or your relationship, or?
Yes, it did. And
may I ask how, like a little bit more on that?
I couldn't go out
Mm-hmm.
to do. I can go out to do shopping. Some shopping, I have to come back home to rest.
Okay.
Affect my health. I had a constipation too.
You had what? Sorry.
Constipation.
Sorry, that broke up, Sharon. What was it?
Constipation.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so you took the products and you made a recovery?
Yes.
And so then how did you make the transition to the business?
I told people. I saw people have, I want to help people that I saw them complaining about their health. So I told them that this Manatech is really helped me because I got this chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that's many years ago. I forgot many of them already. So I keep telling them that it's really work. It's really work. Try it.
Okay. And so how were you aware of the business? What did you see? I understand that you want to help people. Did you also have a vision for the income and the lifestyle, or what other motivations were there in the lifestyle or in the business of Manatech for you?
I want to have a income, but I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Okay. So you saw the benefits of extra income?
Yes, I saw it. Yes.
What else did you see apart from the extra income that attracted you to the business? Was there any lifestyle benefits, working from home, or what else attracted you to being involved with Manatech? Was it the community?
Yes, for the community, yes.
Mm-hmm.
For the church, I think I can support the church or the missionary, and I don't need to I can have extra income, so I need to go to work like a full time.
Do you work full time now?
At the moment, no. Before, yes, many years ago.
Okay. So you saw the benefits of extra income, so you didn't have to work full time?
At the moment, I'm not yet received, but
But
because
the vision?
my because of the age, I'm already 60 plus.
Yeah.
That's why I slow down with my work.
Yeah. And do you see this as drawing income for your retirement?
Yes, I saw it, and I start to see that I have more time now to spend time with this, to learn, to know more the business in Manatech.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yes, so I start to.
So let me repeat what I've got back to you so far, and we'll see if that's it, or it probably needs further development, but we may be limited by time. But let's see what we've got so far. So how long ago were you introduced to the product? So how long did it take for you to get a health result?
Very quick. I think in 1 week.
You 1 week you're back 100% well?
Yeah, I get up in the morning. I can go to toilet.
Oh,
to
okay.
open my mouth. Very easy, and I feel more energy. I can do more things, which is I never had before. Yes, I'm happy already at that time because I've been.
And who introduced you?
I
How did you hear about the product?
the person in the church.
Okay, church
Friend.
Yes. Friend in the church.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. So prior to, I had severe chronic fatigue-like illness for many years. I was actually in bed a lot of the time, and if I went out for shopping, I'd find myself having to come home because I didn't have the energy. I had severely compromised my life. I am an active member of the church, and a church friend told me about these products, so I decided to try them. And after a week, my digestion had improved and I had energy, to get up and get out of bed. And I've continued to improve as I've continued on the products. What's in my heart is I really want to help people with their health. And I started actively sharing about these products with other people. older, it's been important for me to have extra income, particularly as I move into retirement. So I'm finding myself actively and open-heartedly sharing these products with other people. I really feel the rewards of helping others and a view to my future, to more financial freedom in my future and in my retirement. So I haven't got it exactly, but it's pretty close. What do you think, Kim? Is that along the lines of the truth for you, your authentic story?
Yes, that's exactly, yes. Thank you very much.
So I'm hoping this is recorded and you can listen to that back.
It's recorded.
Pardon?
It's recorded.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Sharon. So I'll move on, but do we get the picture?
And we've got Gail waiting as well.
Oh, okay. Well, how are we going for time? Maybe we can do Gail.
Gail, you're unmuted.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Hi, Gail.
Hi.
Welcome. What would you like to
you.
focus on, wellness or business?
Well, I'm doing both as well, because it started off for wellness for me because I had a mental health condition.
Yep.
But now I really want to start building my business as well now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got diagnosed with a psychotic breakdown back in 1984, and it's taken me many years to recover. And I met a friend of mine who introduced me to the products, and ever since I've been taking the products, because I can't always afford them, but when I have taken them, gradually I've sort of made a difference, I think, because of the glyconutrients with the cell-to-cell communication, that because I'm taking medications that make me feel sort of groggy, because I'm recovering, I don't need so much of the medication. So with the product Manitech products, I've been able to somehow change something or wake something up or do something. And I've been able to sort of, well, just have this new way of thinking and being, and it's only been very gradual, but there has been changes that I've noticed, and because it gives me so much more energy, I really notice a difference in my energy levels, because my energy was very low, and I find when I'm taking the True Plenish that it really gives me, lots of energy, as well as helping me with my thinking and not being so drugged up with this medication and everything. I can sort of see and hear, things are a lot more clearer and make a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I keep taking it, and I can't always afford it because it's very expensive. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, because I'm having issues with my job, my part-time job.
So can we just do this part first? Because I might lose track. So let's just do this piece. Okay?
Okay.
So many years ago, I had like a severe mental health breakdown, and it took me many years to recover. I was taking a lot of medication. It was making me really groggy and I couldn't think clearly. I was sort of struggling along as best I could. I met a friend and she introduced me to these products, and I've been able to, as I've been able to take them, I've noticed an improvement. I've been able to actually reduce my medication and my thinking's cleared up. And I've also experienced an increase in my energy, which had, previously been really low. So I'm very committed to buying these products long term, and so that's your health story, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
I wouldn't worry about the glyconutrients. That's the truth, but I wouldn't get into scientific judgment. Scientific explanation, because you'll lose people. They'll get lost on the word of glyconutrient. I would just keep it to the facts in your own language.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes, it is. It's very helpful.
Good. I feel like we need to move on, although we could do a lot more there. Maybe need a whole session on this, Sharon.
Exactly. And we were just discussing that in the chat. So the next empty slot in a couple of weeks is yours for part 2.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Thanks for stepping up, Gail.
That's all right.
If you want to, given you've stepped up, I'm going to offer to speak with you privately to work on your business story if you want help. And if I don't know who your business partner is, and maybe they can help you work on the business side. But if not, I'll happy to do part 2 with you privately.
Oh, that would be great. I'd love that, actually.
Australasian Connect.
Yeah, okay.
To the Facebook page on the Facebook page, Australasian Connect. I can put you through to Diana. Is that all right, Gail?
Yeah, yes, that's fine. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we'll move on. But thank you, Gail and Kim, for having your brave boots on. All right.
We have Leanne waiting for next practice. So.
Okay. Thanks, Leanne. All right, we'll move on. So my next point is about avoiding MLM jargon. So I'm a real advocate for dropping these terms related to our industry and just using everyday language that people can relate to. We put people off when we start using jargon. One of the jargon words I avoid using is prospect. I think it actually can be quite insulting for people if they hear you say that. You can use the words potential client, potential business partner, someone I'm speaking with about the business, someone I'm speaking with about our wellness technologies. Downline and upline, it's very hierarchical language. And, it doesn't have an all-inclusive feel about it. You can use the word team, business partner, colleague, wellness client, business or team leader. They're much more professional terms and all-inclusive terms to be using. And then the other language I avoid is the words three-way call. We actively use the conference call, working with your business partner or someone else to speak with either a potential wellness client or potential business partner with you, rather than use the word three-way call, because I think people don't even know what that is, or it sounds a bit strange. You say, hey, would you... I'd like to offer you to speak with a colleague of mine. She's really experienced in these technologies. I want to make sure we're taking the best care of you and you have all your questions answered. How about we speak together with her on the phone? Just simple everyday language.
Group chat is really common now too, Diana, and that's really acceptable. People are doing group chats all over the place.
Okay, great. Sharon's a bit more ahead of me than with the online technology. Are there any other MLM jargons that people want to raise here that'd be good to minimise or eliminate from our language? Anybody think of any? Put it in the chat. No.
There's some there. Christine saying customer for product and champion when it comes to business. I really like business partner. I like to partner with I partner with Manatech.
Yeah, partner's a great idea. Yep. Thank you. All right, let's move on. And I've broken all the rules. I've got busy slides. But I wanted to make sure that the information's there if you want to refer back to it, and it makes me less nervous. So the other thing that we need to learn how to do if we're going to start talking to people is handle objections. Who's ever had an objection thrown at them? It's just part of our business, isn't it? And one of the masters I've learned from in handling objections is Blair Singer. Now, Blair is, or was, I'm not sure if he still is currently, but he was part of Robert Kiyosaki's business advisory team. But he has his own independent business, and his educational forum on marketing business is called Sales Dogs. So that's the link there. So the point is that any resistance that you experience in conversation with people or in engaging with people is a form of objection. You can have a direct objection where they're saying something to you like your product is too expensive, or is this a pyramid scheme? That's a direct objection. Or you can have an indirect objection or resistance where they're not reviewing the material that you've sent them, or they're continually putting you off. Who's ever had that happen? So the importance with learning how to handle objections is to practice. And the aim in practicing, again, an athlete's not going to go out on the field and expect to play their A game if they've not done practice and worked out, right? So it's the same with conversation. We need to practice handling objections. And our team, every week on our weekly call, we do some conversation practice. And one of the things we focus on is how to handle objections. How do I handle this situation that's come up in conversation, or this question that I've had? And then we brainstorm and we mastermind different ideas on how you could best respond. And the aim is to get emotionally neutral, or sometimes it's called emotionally intelligent. But basically that means you've practiced, you're not scared of someone throwing an objection at you. One of the things Blair used to say, you're not like the goldfish where you go, I don't know what to say here. You practiced it, and you're intelligent, you're relaxed, and you're calm and neutral in your response. So the person's not feeling any, resistance coming back from you. So the formula, the formula I've learned from, I skipped a slide. I'll go back there. The formula I've learned from Blair was, when you hear an objection, the first thing to do is acknowledge it before you say anything. And then the next thing is to ask a question. So the different ways you can acknowledge an objection is just to say, I can appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you've asked me that question. That's an important one. If I was in your situation, I'd be feeling the same way. Thanks for asking. I can understand your concerns. Let me answer that for you. So immediately the person's gone into relaxed, he's still with Kiyosaki. Thank you, Christine. Into a relaxed space in speaking with you. And so I thought we'd have a look at some common objections. Who's ever had the price objection? I can't afford it. Your products are too expensive. I think just about all of us have come across that one. You've got a few hands up there. Thank you. And so when you're getting an objection on price or money, the underlying concern is generally about, is this of value? Is this going to give me results? So it's best, where you can, if you haven't already established their why or their goal, go back to that. Go back to establishing why they're even talking to you, or what benefit or what result would be important and value to them. The 90-day money-back guarantee is, a good reason to not be too concerned about money, but it shouldn't be primary. It should be secondary to their why. So, a response could be establish someone's why, and hopefully you have, before they're objecting to you on price. Then you can go back to that. And this is just one example. Say, I can appreciate that. So you've acknowledged their concern about price. Mary, you told me that what you wanted to do was get on top of your blood sugars, get them stable and under control, so that your health, your long-term health is protected, right? So if you felt confident these products could help you achieve that, and there was no risk to you, would the investment be worth it to you? It'd be hard to say no to that if you've established their why. Does that make sense? Pyramid. For some people that can be the feared objection. If you haven't got yourself neutral about all the values that our business offers and the complete, our business is of greater integrity than the average corporation out there. And I think over the years, this will become more and more obvious. But in the meantime, we need to hold that for ourselves. And the question about pyramids, or the objection about pyramid, is more about integrity. Are you of integrity? Is the company of integrity, or what you're offering to them valid? That's the underlying question. So the response needs to be about validating their concerns and affirming the integrity of what we have to offer, and then going straight back to them and what's important to them. So here's just an example. Thanks for bringing that up. You know, is this a pyramid? Ask me, is this a pyramid scheme, please, Sharon?
Is this a pyramid, Dana?
Look, thanks for bringing that up, Sharon. It's a common question. The answer is no. Manatech are a 25-year-old international research and development company. They've been in Australia for 20 years. I've been involved all of that time. And all of their products are validated and approved by our TGA. So, Sharon, can you, may I ask, how would you like to improve your health?
Well, I really have one of those fatiguing illnesses, and I'm at the point now where I'm unable to work even anymore.
Oh, wow. I can actually relate to that. So then I could tell, if I was in that situation, I would tell my really shortened story. I wouldn't tell my 1-minute story. I'd say, hey, Sharon, I can relate to that. I actually experienced chronic fatigue for myself for 15 years. And a friend of mine heard about these products. She told me about them. And after about 3 months, I had signs of recovery. And after 18 months, I fully recovered. So, you know, I'm confident that these products could, you know, help you with your situation. Would you be open to hearing more about them, or me sending you some information to review?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to, Dana.
And the other thing,
I don't want to feel pressured, though.
pardon?
I don't want to feel pressured, though.
Oh, look, I can appreciate that. It would never be my intention to pressure you. If after you know, have a look at this information and you're not interested, or you don't have any questions, there'll be no pressure whatsoever.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I understand. All right. If it's a business inquiry, then you could go straight to, you know, can you tell me a little bit more about what kind of business you're looking for? So you go back to, you know, like they've asked you the integrity of the company, go straight to what they're looking for in a business. Go straight to their why. Hopefully this is helpful.
Very.
Okay. Why aren't we going forward? Hang on. How about the objection of time? Oh. I haven't got enough time. Who's ever had that one? When somebody's objecting about time, they're often the underlying reason is they've got in their mind, is this worth my time? If I put my time and effort in, am I going to get results with the products, or am I be able to generate an income? And sometimes it can be about capacities. You know, can I do this? How can I do this? I haven't got any skills or training. So if someone's giving you objection on time, it's helpful to affirm the skills, the training, and the support that's going to be available for them. But again, to acknowledge first that they've given you objection. So can you give me the objection, please, Sharon?
You know what? I'm so busy. I don't have time to look at anything.
Yeah, look, I can understand that. We all have busy lives these days, Sharon, including me. You know, but if I could show you how you could generate an extra $500 a month, very part-time, would you be open to spending 30 minutes of your time to take a look?
So that would only work if you'd already qualified me as a really strong goal, right?
Yeah.
So we're skipping that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, yeah, you know, that $500 a month is something that I really need right now.
Yeah. Great. Well, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
How about we get together over a coffee and we have a bit of fun as well, and I just show you a bit of a chat as well, find out more about each other, and I can show you more information, answer any questions you may have, and if you're not interested after that, there'll be no problem whatsoever. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, great. The other way you can handle it is, you know, I can appreciate what you're saying. Any new business or job, it does involve a learning curve. If you knew you'd have all the support and training you need to be successful doing this very part-time, would you be open to spending time to understand more? These are just suggestions of, it really depends on the scenario you're working in. So maybe next time we can do more live scenarios. But the point here is to affirm, you know, that the skills and training and the ability to generate income in our business plan, working part-time. What I'd recommend, and what I said earlier, is that we do weekly team sessions and masterminds to handle these difficult questions and conversations. But I'd be up for doing a mastermind example of handling the objection. If anyone wants to write an objection in the that they're not sure how to deal with, Sharon and I can mastermind and troubleshoot that for you. Has anyone got an objection they have difficulty managing?
Well, there's one idea of turning the time objection into the business being a solution for that. So if you've established that they're concerned about being too busy, I need extra time, because you'd have to pin them down with that. So that's
great.
Just one suggestion, but I'll look for, and another idea after that is science-based people denigrating the science of nutritional glycans or Manatech.
Okay.
That's two things there.
Okay. Well, that's definitely a way of handling it. Absolutely. That could be exactly why you'd benefit knowing more about this. Would you like to establish more time, more time freedom?
Well, listen, I've been in medicine for years, and I don't believe that this has any value at all.
Okay. Look, I can understand what you're saying. I know, obviously, you've got extensive science experience and study, way beyond me. Yeah. And certainly it's not my intention to challenge that. Would you be open to, I'm just wondering though, the science of nutritional glycans is quite recent. It's only in really the last decade that it's really gained traction in the scientific world. There is quite a lot of scientific evidence out there about nutritional glycans. Would you be open to taking a look at some of that science?
So I could be an easy client right now and say, sure, or nah, this is worthless. Not interested.
Yeah. Okay. So I can understand you feeling that way. If
I'd probably go back to what their why was and do a takeaway.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so what was my why? So say I'm a science person, I've got a really bad health condition.
Okay.
So I can appreciate that. I know I had a nursing background and I wasn't open at all. I was skeptical and I didn't want to look at it. But I felt bad about being closed-minded to not at least review the information they had it. And in 30 minutes, I knew this had merit and I needed to look deeper. So if you knew there'd be no pressure, we can provide you with significant science links, and you can see that this is a really important emerging field of evidence for health and wellness. And if not, there's no pressure.
Okay, I might be open to some of that.
Okay. So, and again,
you have authority though. I'm thinking we might, just a general person. You could refer to your story. Someone could use your story in that situation. Yeah. Excuse me.
And that's a great benefit about doing something like this, because you can take away stories from this and refer back to them as stories for someone that you're wanting to assist.
Yeah. Sharon, I'm not a scientific professional like yourself, but I do understand you've got a serious health situation that isn't fully addressing right now. Have I understood that correctly?
Yeah, I am in trouble actually.
Yeah, okay. Look, Sharon, I don't know if this would be a relevant story for you, but I've got a close friend who is a triple certificate nurse who was in a similar situation to you. Her health was totally compromised and Western medicine didn't have any current answers for her. And so she did look at this, and based on her research, she decided to take this class, and she got the health results she was looking for. So, with no expectation of you taking this on board except to do your research, would you be open to you know, looking at some scientific information that validates the benefits of nutritional glycans for health.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for the person asking, I've got a feeling that it might have been a long-term problem, and sometimes you just have to walk away as much as you can see.
Yeah.
It might help someone. Sometimes there's nothing you can do if someone's been entrenched in their position. So
Yeah. Doctors and medical professionals can be the most difficult to get across, you know, to get across the line of even looking at the information and having a balanced review, because they're taught to be skeptical, and they have things put in front of them constantly. And so that makes them even more skeptical. But it's a good question, and it is a difficult one and a good one to deal with. And I hope we've given you some ideas there. Okay.
And the other thing I think is important, I'll just quickly throw this in, Diana, is that often we think if we, and sometimes it's true, so that what Diana is talking about here is mastery and practice. But if you've mastered and you've practiced and you're asking questions and you authentically are unattached to the outcome, then sometimes you just have to walk away. It's not that you've done anything wrong. Like, you know, I used to think if I was better at this, it would have been a different outcome. I've learned over the years that as good as I've got, there's still people that are going to say no. And it's just either not right for them or not right timing. And if you leave them in good shape and leave the relationship in good shape, they might be open later.
Yeah. And that goes to Sharon's point of using what we call the takeaway. You know, I appreciate you having a conversation. Or this may or may not be right for you. I'm just, you know, we're simply offering you to do some research at this stage. Is this form of takeaway? Or, you know, look, appreciate you having a conversation. I'm not sure that this is right for you at this time. So you're taking energy back to yourself. If you ever want to have a review, you know, my door's open. I'm happy to talk with you.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Sharon.
Perfect. No worries.
And I did want to cover about buffers. Who's ever heard about a buffer? This information, yeah, Sharon and I did a course with Hilton Johnson. That's his web link there, MLM coach. He is a true veteran of the multi-level marketing industry, or the network marketing industry. He's done extensive training forums for people. And this is real basics of his course called Language by Attraction, or Selling by Attraction, I think he calls it. And he teaches about buffers, and what buffers are: little phrases that convey that we're not going to be pushy, you know, and that we can follow those phrases with a powerful question or a message because we've softened the beginning. So this is just some sample examples. So I can appreciate that we're using it as acknowledgement when we're working with objections, you know, but it can be used anytime as a buffer for people to feel like you're relating to them. May I ask is a great phrase to use before, you know, a question. I might use that if someone's reviewed information and they're saying they're not interested, without giving me any reason why. I might use this. May I ask what led you to that conclusion? It'd be helpful for me to understand. And then they might open up and let me know what brought that conclusion and open the conversation again, because they've come to the conclusion based on information that's not accurate. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm curious. I've used that a lot to buffer then asking a question. One example would be, you know, I'm curious, would you be interested if you hear someone complaining about their finances or their health, you go, I'm curious, would you be interested to know about something that could help you with that or improve your financial position? It's just, you know, you're not, if you do it without the curious, it's more confronting question.
Softens it, doesn't it?
It does soften it, yeah. Another one I use, it'd be helpful for me to understand. It'd be helpful for me to understand more about you. Would you mind if I ask you some questions? It's really soft. Before you go launching into asking someone a question, you've got permission. And that's the other thing, you know, you can use buffers and permission together in order to ask people questions about themselves. with your permission. So you're asking permission directly. With your permission, I'll be in touch with you on Friday, and we can talk further about the information I've sent you. Most people, you know, will say yes to that, or, you know, work out a time that suits. Can I make a suggestion? I actually used that on Sharon earlier. Can I make a suggestion? How about we get together for coffee and I can show you more information or answer any questions you may have? Can I make a suggestion? How about you have a listen to a recording that a presentation a friend of mine did that gives a lot of really helpful information about nutrition and health, and then we can talk further. And then if you find that somebody's upset about something or somebody's misunderstood you, can say, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Appreciate that. Or I think I've caused you to misunderstand me is another soft way of sort of backing out of a difficult conversation scenario where someone is getting arced up. And then easy exits are really helpful language as well. And they say, I'm going to respect your time. And it's okay for you to say no to me. You know, we're hearing more from Eric Worre now as well. And, you know, asking permission, that assists people in giving you their attention because you've asked for their time. You know, examples are, this is a quick call. I use that a lot, particularly if I've emailed something to someone and I'm following up. I'll go, this is just a quick call. So people have heard quick. I'm not going to take up their time. I'm going to respect their time. And the email you as discussed, I'm just checking you received that. And hopefully they'll say yes. And I go, oh, great. Is this a good time to speak to you now? So I'll lead into the next easy exit. And they might say, oh, no. I said, no problem whatsoever. When would be a good time? I'm available this and this. Now, when you ring people, is this a good or convenient time to speak with you briefly? I use the word briefly. They're hearing that sort of semi-consciously. I'm going to give them, respect their time. I'm not going to hold them up. And then I just keep letting them lead how much time they have. Or the other thing I might do is, how much time have you set aside for this call? Or how much time have you set aside? Just so I respect your time, I might even say that directly. How much time have you set aside for this call or this meeting? So that they know I'm thinking about them and they've got a way to transition out if they want. Again, with your permission, you know, I'll set up a monthly order for you because that's going to give you the best advantage of our loyalty program. Yeah, I've used this one earlier with Sharon. If you don't like what you see, there'll be no problem whatsoever. I won't take any offense. So, you know, when you're providing the information, particularly about the business, you know, they know that they can say no to you. You know, all I'm going to do, what we'll do when we talk again is answer your questions. And at the end of that, if you're no longer interested, there'll be no problem whatsoever. Fair enough? So that's some easy exits. And may I ask is another form of permission. It's a great buffer or form of permission. May I ask why? May I ask you a quick question? May I ask you some questions? Again, you're asking permission. And it softens what you have to say afterwards. And then because I couldn't resist adding in some other gems to finalize, to round this off, and you would have heard this, I've heard this, James and Naomi say this many times. When you're following up after sending somebody some information, may I ask, what did you like most about what you read, heard, or watched? That's called a probing question. So you're asking for more detail. And if they give you a short answer, then you can go, oh, fantastic. You know, can you tell me more about that? You know, so this is another probing question that's really handy to delve further in or to draw them out more, so you can find out what's relevant for them, what's their why, what's important for them. I think I've got more there, but I think I'm going to leave it at that because we're right on the hour, Sharon.
Dana, I'm so busy here answering chats because everybody's so grateful. So, you know, one of the things, it's one thing to have the skills. Like I'm a above average communicator, most people would say, but the ability to teach it is unique, right? Diana can chunk it down and make it into very achievable steps so that you can understand what, you know, you'll hear many people doing all the time. And often this is natural for me to speak like this now, but I can't chuck it down and teach and coach like Dana does. She's just so good at it. So Dana, bless you. Thank you so much for putting the effort in. And I know this isn't always the comfortable place for you. It will become more so when I'm done with you, when we're all done with you. But yeah, there's lots of gratitude here. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back in a couple of weeks and have another go. And we'll chunk down to what we didn't complete today, but also give an opportunity for more questions and some more practice. So Dana Hunter, thank you so very much. Next week we have
everyone.
The amazing Ray Robbins beaming in from the UK. So have a great weekend, everybody. See you.